We are also getting reaction from school officials tonight. Godfrey-Lee Superintendent Kevin Polston is joining us live now. Kevin, you were part of the governor's advisory council the first time around when schools were talking about in-person learning and what would that look like. What's your reaction to the state's new restrictions?
Well, I appreciate that it's a comprehensive approach, protecting our highest need learners, our K-8, and also our special education and English language learners, those students that need that in-person experience the most. But the governor's action tonight through the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services looks at the problem in a comprehensive manner to make sure that we keep our hospital capacity intact, to make sure that our most vulnerable populations stay away from the virus, and to make sure that our critical services are still able to be provided. So as educators, you know, this is a difficult day, but it's one that we prepared for. It's one that the roadmap told our school leaders to make sure for periodic closures that you have remote learning plans in place, and each and every district in our region and throughout the state is prepared for this. And we'll make sure that we deliver high quality learning for our students, whether in person for our K-8, special ed, or EL, or remotely for our high school students.
And what is your reaction to the governor making the decision, or the state as a whole making a decision to allow the K or preschool through 8th grade to remain in-person learning, but not the high school? Do you think that move will help with the spread of COVID, to help prevent that spread?
Yeah, the nature of what we've seen amongst transmission altogether has demonstrated that the older kids, the high school kids, have higher rates of incident with the virus. And that's just because the schedule is different. It doesn't allow for cohorting like our elementary and even our middle school students do. High school students are also more independent. They can drive, they have jobs, they have extracurricular events. And so the amount of interactions that our older students have are far different than what our younger students have. At Godfrey-Lee, we're able to cohort students at K-5, and that means they stay with their students each and every day. They don't travel to specialist class. The specialist teachers come to them when they go out on the playground. They are separated from other classes. And so when you think about the impact that cohorting can have at lower levels, just because the schedule allows for it, it really mitigates the spread. And while we can't eliminate the spread of COVID-19, schools have been a place that are as safe as any other place in our community because the mitigation strategies that are implemented, mask, distancing, hygiene, cleaning, cohorting. And at Godfrey-Lee, we had the fortunate opportunity through the health department to have COVID-19 testing to make sure that our schools are as safe as possible. And our staff have been doing a tremendous job to make sure that our students and families are well served throughout this pandemic. And I'm proud that we can continue to deliver in-person education for those that need it the most.
And any concerns with continuing the in-person for preschool through 8th grade?
Well, as I stated, that we can't eliminate the spread of COVID. We can mitigate it, but we also must look at the health and well-being of our children in a broad sense, and that the students who are best able to learn remotely, our high school students, are afforded that opportunity right now. But we know that remote learning for some of our youngest learners is a challenge at best. And to be able to provide in-person experience with strict mitigation strategies, to look at the overall health and well-being, COVID-19 included, but also their social, emotional, make sure nutritional, make sure essential services, such as speech and language, physical therapy, occupational therapy, that schools provide to our highest need learners. We can still provide those because the overall health and well-being of our children is best served when they're at school. So we want to make sure that we take these mitigation strategies that the order calls for seriously. So in 3 weeks, they can be lifted so we can once again return, if districts choose to, with all of our students.
All right. Thank you so much for taking your time. And we'll continue to bring you the latest updates on the coronavirus as they come into our newsroom, on air and online at woodtv.com.